The race for president is a literal tie. The Real Clear Politics average of all the major recent polls shows both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump with 48.5%. Joining me to try and make sense of all this is our wonderful political analysts who've been here throughout this election year, Republican Amy Koch and Democrat Abou Amara. All right, why are we tied?
Well, I don't think we're tied.
You don't think,
and we're going to touch on that a little bit. I think that actually former President Trump is up a little bit. But I think that there is just that, you know, Donald Trump and all his things he says and all the things that people want to point out is baked in, and we are just really getting to know Vice President Harris. And like it or lump it, she is being tied to a lot of, you know, things with the Biden administration that people do not like: economy, immigration, and the war in Israel.
All right, Abou, Trump is surging. There's no doubt across all the polls.
Look, I think there's no question that Trump has seen a bit of uptick in popularity. Look, at the end of the day, it was always going to be a close race. The Democrats were never going to win by 20. The Republicans were never going to win by 20. It's going to come down to operation and banking votes. Remember, Election Day is the end of the election, not the beginning. And Democrats have been winning every single day, and hopefully we can continue that moving forward.
All right, I want to ask you about the polls underestimating the Trump vote. It happened in 2016. He won. It was a shock to everyone. The polls from 2020, this is what the polls had: 51.3 to, that was the result, 51.2 to Trump 44. This is 4 years ago. This week, this is what the polls were saying. Not close at all, really. And then this is the actual result of the election, 51.3. So they got Biden right. But once again, even though Trump lost, they underestimated him by about 4 points. Could that happen again? It's happened two times in a row.
Right. I think that there's just a segment of the population that don't say out loud they're supporting former President Trump. I think there's a large segment of the population, and that's what those numbers reflect. And I think it's going to happen again. That's why I think that.
So you think it is going to happen again? In which case, Trump has a significant lead.
Very possible.
I think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be as big as it was in 2020. And the second is the Democrats have the most robust early vote operation in history. And that is how you combat some of the polling, because I do think there is a support for Trump that's not reflected in the polling.
I think it could be bigger, because in 2020 you had Biden. Trump was president and very unpopular president at the time, right? COVID and all of those things. I think the spread could be bigger.
For Trump. All right.
For Trump.
Let's go quickly to Wisconsin and the Senate race there, because Tammy Baldwin, until last week, had a huge lead. It was about 10 points way back at the end of August, even early September. It is now a virtual tie. Some races have the tie. Some have Eric Hovde up. Is this going to happen? Is Tammy Baldwin going to lose her seat? And is this because of her sexuality, which she's been elected there for years? It hasn't mattered. And suddenly that's a subject of a number of ads.
Yeah, I don't think that's what it is. I think that Wisconsin, in every single poll, when it's Vice President Harris and former President Trump, it's a dead heat. It's 0.2% for Donald Trump. So it's a 50-50 state. And in this case, I think that former President Trump has got some coattails. Now, he's done the Republicans dirty for the last 3 cycles. But in 16, he had coattails. And I think we might be seeing that again. And I think Wisconsin is an example.
All right. This has happened very, very quickly in the last week. Is Tammy Baldwin in trouble?
Look, at the end of the day, I do not think she's in trouble. But let's be honest, it is a battleground state for a reason. It's a 48-48 state, and it's really going to come down to operation on the ground. Watch out for late spending and independent expenditures, negative ads to try to push down Eric Hovde. I think that will be the difference.
Okay, let's go to Minnesota's 2nd congressional district. That's the one we've been seeing the ads for here locally. Angie Craig versus Joe Tairab. That's getting a little nasty there in the ads. Your thoughts? I mean, the only polls that have been taken show Angie Craig with a lead. This, too, is a swing district, though.
I mean, it has been a swing district. Joe Tairab is a great guy. Got a real late start because there was a lot of Republican infighting that was going on, and I think that's going to hurt him.
To say the least.
To say the least. I'm putting that mildly. Yes. But in a state where, again, I mean, Trump is within about 4 points of Vice President Harris, and in a state like that, that's going to break early. And as we've said, Trump is underperforming in all the polls, or generally does. You know, this could be something that pushes that race a little tighter than what we've been seeing.
I think it is a close but fairly safe district. And what I mean by that is, structurally, it's about a +3 Democratic district. And Angie Craig spent money early defining Joe Tairab on the issue of abortion and others to remind voters that ultimately when they show up on Election Day, that's going to be the contrast she wants, and I think she ultimately prevails.
I think she's been so savvy, too, courting the police union. And she's there, she is marching down the street with police officers.
Very
Very
anti-Washington ads. She has like a real kind of
Yep.
anti-Washington politician ads that have been very effective. Where she's in the batting cage. Yeah.
All right, we have an open district that we really haven't covered as much as District 2. That's District 3, which is currently held by Dean Phillips, who is not running again. And we've got Senator Kelly Morrison, and we've got Tad Jude, who was a county commissioner. He was a judge. Your thoughts about this race?
Yeah, I think she was made for this moment. I mean, running an OBGYN in an election cycle where Democrats hope abortion is going to be the top issue in a district, suburban, highly educated, affluent. I mean, this is exactly the type of person you want to run in this district. And you contrast that with Tad Jude. I think that contrast is something Democrats are really excited about.
And she's got so much more money than he does.
She's got a lot more money. You know, I like them both. Tad's also a really great guy and has run many times. He's a real savvy campaigner and a hard worker. It's just a district that has really flipped. Yeah.
All right, really quick, because we're running out of time. The Senate District 45 race in Minnesota could tip the balance of power in the state house. Ann Johnson Stewart, Democrat, versus Kathleen Falk, the Republican. This is a big deal.
This is a big deal. This is for all the marbles in the Senate. By the way, both great candidates, both spending a lot of money, both working hard. But I was in this district last week. I was door knocking, and I will say this. 2 questions at the door that are sort of qualifiers are where are the candidates on Trump, and where are they on abortion?
100%.
This is still an issue in that district. We're going to see how it plays out, but that's how I see it. It's still an issue.
Abortion will decide the majority in the Senate.
All right. Thank you so much to both of you. We certainly appreciate it. And we will all be here on election night, sitting right here, trying to figure out what's going on. So please join us.